And I mean, yeah, true enough, I was, supposed to have, like, what I'm saying, like, as far as influential platform and things, because anybody who called to do the work of God, whether you speak the word, the Bible, promote the gospel, you pretty much destined to have some type of way of doing so, because I mean, ain't nothing wrong with it. And so I mean, a lot of things, I mean, this situation as far as the persecution of my life, and then the spiritual reality of it. The spiritual part of it is, what I mean, a lot of things that it was a lot of things that wasn't supposed to happen, but at the same time was supposed to happen, because it's a matter of fate. You know what I'm saying? When God decides that, okay, say if God says, here, I'm going to restore this place, then that becomes fate for everybody that he uses to do so. You feel me? It's like it's God's thoughts. So when he realized it wasn't going to work because the sin and the evil and the hate and stuff in the world, then he decided that he was going to judge this, society. You know what I'm saying? Instead, because he knew what it amount to, you know what I mean? Like, what would happen. It just wouldn't work because of all those factors. Evil, it's too much evil in the world. So that's how something, that's how something can be not supposed to happen, but at the same time supposed to happen at the same time. You feel me? That's how that's possible, because, the events that happened, what I mean, just like my fame platform, that was supposed to happen, but my fame remained while my purpose got eaten. You feel me? So it's like, that's the problem. It was off balance. I'm an influential figure. I mean, for God, for the works of God. I got a massive impact for, the works of God. That's what my life been. I've been with Jesus the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I've been with the light. And that's what's in my heart, to do the works of righteousness. It's the only desire that I have and had, And that's a situation that you see, but you see like how my legacy, the attack my legacy been under is more pronounced than ever. You know what I'm saying? You can see that, this been an intentional attack, hunting of a person. You see structures, you see influences, you see, like a conflation to, this one result, and this to disinvent one person's legacy, premeditated, by structures. An artist, an artist that's talking about Jesus. I mean, it's plain to see. It's plain to see. The structures have been doing, anything they possibly can, to bring that reality about. And I just always felt like, just because another artist or influence feel as though, feel threatened by, feel as though my talent would be a threat to the attention that they get, or my talent would, outshine them. You feel me, or something like that. I ain't think that should have been used as an excuse, by structures to actually, illegally, stick their hands in a person's life and destroy, their, aspects of their life that how you survive, and things like that, just to make sure, just to keep artists, that's unrelated, calm, and unworried, about the talent of this person, growing too much. The talent of this person, being too, like just getting, the talent getting too much recognition. And certain influential figures ain't want that. And so the structures destroy a person's, a person's life to ensure that other artists aren't threatened, aren't threatened with their own insecurities or their own legacies. And that's what happened. That's what's happened. That's what's been happening. And it's been a premeditated thing, you know. I just didn't feel like that was, I didn't think a civil society should be like that. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't believe that that's the way. I mean, I don't know. But in the same way, we are in the last days, end times, you know, biblical end times. So a lot of things that used to be, you know, just absolutely asinine, you feel me, like just ridiculous, is now normal. You feel me? And you seen the process of the normalizing of these things. And that's what I told everybody throughout the years. I've been showing the whole world, you know, how the devil, you feel me, been like normalizing, you know, things that would ultimately, you know, open the doors and enable, you know, greater evils to become normal. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of things that were being normalized were to ultimately be stumbling blocks in the life of, you know, perhaps said artists. You know, I mean, it's I mean, words can't really describe, you know what I'm saying, the magnitude. I'm like, you know, all of this is to prevent somebody from promoting the gospel and having a impact, you know, influence, you know, for God in society. All this was preemptively did, you know. And no matter what you do and don't do, they use it to kill you with. You know what I'm saying? I just got attacked again this morning. You know, I talked about it. You know, it was some of my posts. Yeah, man. I told everybody what was going on. It still happened. Like I said, nothing. Yeah, man. Attempted murder in my home. You know what I said again. And that's what it is, man. You got injustices and all these, you know, in the interest of artists, try to murder artists. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been getting killed in plain sight, bro, like over 7 years. And most of those years I've been telling the whole world, simultaneous to it all happening. Or tell the whole world it's still happening. I'm like, well, so I mean, so all I know is reality. Ultimately, though, you know what I mean, God called me to speak and give hope and life to the people. You know, I'm as a messenger, just a messenger, you know. So it's like, this is an extreme rejection of God. I feel as though it's excessive, you know, but I mean, they turned in, you know what I mean, they gave God, this is what they invested in God. So it's like, well, I mean, I accept that my purpose got defiled and shredded up, you know. So it's like, I mean, certain people felt like God was a threat to their traditions and cultures, way of life, you know what I'm saying, things like that. So it's like, well, I mean, everything I do and don't do, they made a way. You know, they prayed on my life, make a way where I be like, you know, stuck, you know, behind stumbling blocks, some way, some kind of way, you know, now, you know, to confine me, so my altitude has a ceiling. You feel me? It was strategically planned out, you know, and they just, I mean, they fought God, you know, fight God with all this. But it's been happening since I was born. That's the origins of it, 1994. And somebody saw Blessing of God, and it got recognition. And so, you know, it wasn't just a random thing, though. It was like, you know, it was people that was educated on, you know, spiritual things of God, but, you know, it got used for against God instead of for him, you know. So I mean, well, God was like, well, that's what's been sold, you know, and that's directly proportional to what shall be reaped, you know, and that's how it is. But you see, though, everything was on purpose, though, you know, everything. A lot of stuff I did without my knowledge, and then they try to kill me behind it because the truth of it come out, you know what I'm saying? And that's a situation. You got these people, places, things, you know, did things that I didn't consent to, and then when the truth out, they want to try to take my life when it's something that they did in the first place. You feel me? And that's not even my fault. So I tell you, since from my birth to my death, you know what I'm saying, it's places to destroy my entire life. Literally. You know what I'm saying? And that's real. That's like, that's morbid. You know, that's morbid. For real. But I think about God's promise. And personally, I don't, you know what I mean? I ain't really too bothered, you know, like that. But I mean, plus I know what I shown the world already. Disclosed all this stuff in real time. All year, every year, out of desperation. You know what I'm saying? After being ignored and neglected and all that, you know, by society. Man, the least I the most and the least I possibly could have did, I did it with my quotes, recordings, and my poetry. For the circumstance I was intentionally placed into, and you know, ignored into, you know, and it was, I say, it was a framing, you know, set up and, you know, railroad me to like wherever those artists, you know, wanted me to go, and all these structures were colluding with these artists to do that. So I mean, the situation is not like a situation where, you know, it's not a normal situation. You feel me? This is not normal, like at all. You know. And I mean, then the truth come out, and it's like, yeah, this happened to a child. You know. From my birth to my death, I got, you know, my whole life was ruined, destroyed, picked apart, eaten, you know, completely for 26 years straight. And that's what's happened. And I never really had a fair chance to succeed. I never had a fair opportunity. I never had real, true liberty. I never experienced real freedom, you know, for 26 years. You know, that's my entire life. So, I mean, and then when you see the same thing happening now, I mean, like I say, man, from my birth to my death, you see this, I mean, it ain't changed. For the same purpose, the dragon remained pressed and preyed on my life. For the same purpose that it had in 1994. And so in spite of all I went through, all the truth I showed made manifest, you know, the end result seemed as though it's gonna be the same result anyway, you know. And that's it's crazy, you know. But yeah, man, from a spiritual perspective, you know, things are different. I mean, the purpose of restoration, you know, that's what, you know, the fame was supposed to be for, you know. So I mean, I got eaten up so bad that the best I could do was show, you know, pieces of my identity that's nothing to do with the impositions that was, you know, that I got painted with as part of the scam, you know, to keep some people rich forever, you know what I'm saying, keep some people famous forever, keep some people relevant forever, you know. So God was robbed by society, in a nutshell. God was robbed by society, and what he was robbed with, he was going to use to restore it. Think about it. But instead, society decided that it rather not have the restoration, but it rather have the gratification. Feel me? For that time. And so it's now, you know what I mean? Now, it's like, it's fragments and fossils to the purpose. And it's like, it's kind of like, say if you had like a mechanic or something, and you bring a car to him, and ask him to fix the car. Then he said, okay. When he get ready to, you take all his tools, throw them in the lake. That's how it is, That's the situation. And so I also, on the spiritual reality, I also spoke briefly about, the concept of how the Lord, the Holy Ghost could be renounced. Just the Lord could be renounced of things, and that's how people get away with it. That's what it is. The thing is, when that decision is made, what society don't understand is it has to keep that forever. You know what I'm saying? It can't blaspheme the Holy Ghost and go back to Christianity. It's impossible. It got to stay there forever. So if it had a reason or a season where it decided to do that in order to get away with the evil against God, then it has to keep that forever. Because that's the one unforgivable sin. It made it possible to destroy a work of God with lies and malice. You feel me? That's the thing. When you premeditate committing a sin, it becomes malice, or it's double sin. So some people it was preemptive. Sabotaging of a purpose of God. And so, with it being as embraced as it was, from 94 to now, it's something that is irreversible. The wrong things have been solidified. So the right thing is no space for it. You feel me? In society. So the wrong stuff been etched in stone. So when the right stuff, you feel me? It ain't nowhere for it. It's nowhere for it. Literally, it's nowhere. So and that's to say it's nowhere for God. So there you have it. God's place had been taken in society by Satan. So Satan erased society. And so all this other little stuff that's happened to my life, it's part of that, man. It's the dragon trying to ensure that I have no platform or anything, man. Dragon, the devil, the serpent. They attack. Everything is a part of the same situation. You feel me? Whatever happening now in my life is the same thing that was happening 7 years ago. It's the same situation. I'm an eyewitness personally. This is my testimony, and I shared it to the world. You feel me? This is what I said happened. This is what I saw happen, and this is how I know life to be. What's happening, what happened 7 years ago is the same thing that was happening since 1994, my birth. You know what I'm saying? It's the same situation. Whatever happening now is a collusion. You feel me? And I'm under a terroristic attack in which I need extreme help. You know what I'm saying? Against it. But the preservation of my rights. I need extreme protection of my rights. You know what I'm saying? Because of this attack that's been against me. So, whatever happening now is the same thing that was happening 7 years ago. It's the same situation. It's the same situation. And before that point, all the way back to 94, That's the origins of it, you know. Yeah, but it wasn't nobody that was friendly that was doing it. You feel me? So it's all one long situation, and I'm a witness of it, and that's regardless of who. You feel me? Like, I mean, that's the facts. I went through this, and if I'm not taking serious, then society renounce God forever. I mean, it's really like that, you know what I mean? God's interest is his investment. That's all he care about. His investment and those who are his, you know. That's to say that my life don't matter. And they show it every day by me getting attacked every day. But then, you know, nobody else, you know what I'm saying? That's what's happening. I'm getting attacked every day, so they taunting God, they mocking God, like, directly. The structures, like, directly mocking God. So there's no way possible God could be retained within the lands ever. I mean, the earliest being just last night, you know. So think about all I said before last night. See, that's the thing, you know. God don't care about the people that, you know, that society is pushing up as take responsibility, but he's more like the people that's pushing them up. Then that's who he's more worried about. That's who God's wrath go fall on, because they're doing that, but then they're saying there's all these other people, you know. That's the situation. And so that's what's happening. I get brutally attacked. I could be killed. I get killed, and you know what I'm saying? Every day, attack, you know, without mercy, numerous ways. And I mean, but it's nothing that could happen or that has happened in the past, present, or the future that could justify destroying or forcing me to forfeit my rights for no reason whatsoever. There's no reason other than what they trying to create or fabricate. But my testimony blocks that, because it's right there. You know what I'm saying? So you have to ask the question, why are they so obsessed with destroying the life of this child? You know what I'm saying? The life of this man. You know what I'm saying? The life of this person. You know? They obviously chasing an innocent person and trying to kill him. Then while artists are simultaneously taking bits and pieces of their works. This is happening. While artists are taking chunks and stuff from my art and assimilating pieces of fabrics of my being, you know, without my permission, while I'm also simultaneously being hunted and antagonized by injustices and militias. You feel me? Think about it. It's all the same situation. Whatever happened now was happening 7 years ago. And all throughout the years, it's been happening, the same situation. So while all of this is happening, you know, they're still trying to drive me into, you know, stagnancy and desolation, poverty, or slavery, where I be forced to I'll be forced to depend on people, evil people, and things like that, you know what I mean? But I'm an eyewitness of everything that I say. And then that's the truth. A couple years ago, all the people that was involved, you know, even from high levels, low levels, admitted it. And then everybody admitted it. They said, yes, I did this publicly. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it make no sense for now anything to be different. So I don't recognize anything of that nature. Because why wouldn't now my stuff have been ignored all those years while I'm watching people look at it? And then now, all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, it's recognized. Like, why now is it recognized? It was recognized back then, but now it's formally recognized. Back then, it wasn't formally recognized, but it was informally being recognized. But now it's formally, like, you know what I'm saying? Everything just sounds like anti-God country, you know.